Michael is the type of director that you meet with. He was very specific on this film that he wanted it to be a certain look. Each character had an architectural style, and then also wanted it to be locations that you'd never photographed in Los Angeles before.
When Michael contacted me on this project, and he said to me, I want you to rethink about Los Angeles. I want you to discover like you've never seen it before. Look at it like you've never seen it before. So I started going around at night, find different areas, taking pictures, showing different flavors. Take a look at this, shoot this now, shoot this. The beauty of Los Angeles.
This is the freeway scene that actually leads up to where Pacino pulls De Niro over for the first time. What's great about Michael is that he allows you to go off on your own and trusts you that you spend a week or so just going and getting him choices. Come back and you have a meeting with him, usually once or twice a week, with Guzmano, the production designer, and you go through all of the folders. And what's great about Michael is that he comments on each folder. So he'll write on it that it was good, bad, NG, warm, and you then sort of keep them in piles, because what he'll do is a lot of times, 6 months down the road, he'll say, well, remember that place that I saw? His mind is impeccable.
Like a week prior to this with Michael, I came over here and photographed the area. So when he got here and he saw this yellow sulfur, he was all excited. So this is the world, you know, like you see that yellow mountain sulfur over there? See, this is the world of Dogtown. See, it was all in here, all this area here. Now they're close to the traffic. Before you could go through here with the car. Driving in the middle of the tracks, there was a pergola with grapes, and there was Mexican guys sitting there smoking cigarettes, playing domino. There were shacks after shacks, a little community of people living inside of this little cardboard boxes. There was cockfights, there was dogfight, and way on the other side, it was this huge goat farm. And in the middle of this, there was a freight train at 5 o'clock in the afternoon that he will go through all this incredible civilization, and there will be people coming in and out of the train, like jumping off, getting to the train, going somewhere. It's like the best corrosive architecture of Los Angeles. It was here.
And to give you a little idea of where my estimates come from, this is a printout.
Nobody knew the merch was yours.
The scene was done here.
The scene was done there. You had the computers and stuff out here. That was a carport there with a sliding glass door.
Right.
Right.
Since then, the room's been closed in.
You had some satellite dishes here as well, or?
You had
a little
we put
piece.
another 60-foot tower right here.
That's right.
Extension.
60-foot tower. You guys wanted us to take down the guide wires, and I said, there's no way I can put a 60-foot tower up there, because I said the wind blows up here something fierce, and if that thing bends over, it'll come all the way down.
Exactly,
So,
and that's right, and we actually filmed from the driveway because you could see the freeway and the mountains. What an amazing spot.
Don't leave me like this.
Look at the way this house is built. You know, it's like toothpicks holding the structure. Something very special, you know, for Danny Trejo character. It was perfect, this house. I love this, the altitude. You know, there was something very peculiar about this house and stilt. And this whole area, this is like, you know, it's like the heart of East LA. There's only 3 or 4 hills, you know, and beautiful. Look at that downtown view. Looking west, it's beautiful, incredible.
Well, basically, when we moved in here, we knew this was the Heat house, and this was the room where the guy in the crew got shot, and he released who ratted him out. So we pulled up the carpet, and to our surprise, right here on this spot was the actual blood stain from the scene. A little piece of history of Heat right there under the floorboards.
You know, I chased down some cruise guys just looking to fuck up, get busted back. That you?
You must have worked some dipshit cruise.
I worked all kinds.
This is it. This is the table. This is the power table. This is where everybody wants to come in this restaurant.
Since this was, to Michael, a very important moment, he actually wanted us to keep looking and looking and looking. And in
Sure.
fact, it was probably 2 days before we were actually scheduled to film here. Michael still hadn't chosen which location he wanted to shoot. And in fact, remember, Guzmano, the other choice, which what you came up with, was the little taco
The
stand
little stand by the side of
by
the
the
freeway.
side of the freeway.
With the flames coming out of
Exactly.
that. Yeah.
So Michael went back and forth actually on either going to the taco stand or shooting
So
here.
I thought, you know, they're driving at night in the freeway.
Yeah.
A little side, they got off the freeway, so let's have a bite to eat.
So there was a rumor that they were here at separate times. And I think that more than I direct people to the bathroom here or have to say we don't take reservations for anything under 6, I have to tell people, no, they were here at the same time. They were together.
It's a
Absolutely.
fact. It's a definite fact that the two of them were in that
But
scene.
not only that, but also what that photograph there tells you.
There you go.
There we go.
This architectural style and the glass and the opening matched very well to the bank that we ended up filming, which is Far East Bank that's at another location. But it all worked quite well in matching that this would be the exterior, and you could believe that the inside was a bank. The guys come out with suitcases full of millions of dollars. They come across the courtyard here, and as you can see in the scene, and this is where, running down, this is where they proceed to start doing the whole chase sequence. What they ended up doing is all of these bus stops, the side of the Bonaventure Hotel, all had, was all squibbed. Special effects put up pre-squibbed walls so that whenever it looked as if they were shooting, all the little squibs would hit on the side of the building. And it continued running all the way up to right where Figueroa is.
We shot thousands and thousands of rounds, and there were tourists watching the incredible shootout, going to the street, picking up this shell as a souvenir. I
Oh,
remember
yeah.
that tourists from Japan, from Europe, watching, mesmerized, this incredible Hollywood production. And going for the shell, the empty shell on the sidewalk.
Now, one of the things that was amazing was that we actually fell behind a weekend, and it fell on Mother's Day. And this restaurant, Cafe Pinot, which had just opened up, had pre-reserved the whole restaurant for a Mother's Day buffet. So all of these mothers are supposedly having this beautiful lunch and had to watch a gunfight. It was actually quite extraordinary. They ended up having a lot of fun, and it was a bonus that I don't think anyone ever anticipated, that eating their brunch out the window is Al Pacino and Robert De Niro. But this is where it all kind of culminated in the thing.
Michael had this big table set up with the map for downtown. We had cars, miniature cars, everything set up. It was like planes for World War III.
And we actually filmed it from 4th Street. First of all, he came through that little cafeteria area.
Right.
Then he came through the fountain, and then he ended up over there on 4th Street. So Tom Sizemore ends up getting killed here. I mean, we shot scenes over here, but we actually ended up having some cameras here, because this is the area that he died in. This is where we ended up doing the ending scene of the film, where it took us months and months of actually organizing it with LAX.
Right.
But what Michael found interesting here was, and because it was at night, was the lineup of all of the lights that actually, and the radar system that guides the planes in, and being underneath the flight path. So the first night actually at LAX was on the runway scene where De Niro comes out of, I think it's the Delta
Right, and he
terminal, starts running across. We had to shoot that after midnight because that portion of the runway, I think it's 1,000 feet, It's an extension to the runway where they land 747s. And I think after midnight, there was a short window where we could use that portion of the runway. So we had a real 747, it was a Delta airplane,
Right.
and De Niro actually ran in front of the plane.
For about maybe 3 weeks, every day,
Yeah.
Michael Mann will send me to here with the art department and measuring stakes to position in those boxes.
It was every day. It wasn't
Every day.
different. It was an inch here,
An inch
there.
here, an inch this way, 2 inches this way, to photograph the installation with those boxes. It was an
To
amazing.
get it exactly perfect for Michael and to logistically set it up for the action with De Niro Pacino at the end.
Right. So I think the logistic and the geography of take place in the story, and also the beauty of this location, which is, just think about it, two people running for their life under this jets landing and taking off, and the sound and all that it kind of surreal, and the end of it's like it coming to at the end of the road.
What we accomplished on Heat could never be accomplished nowadays. And in fact, LAX's filming policy is guerrilla style, news style, 20 people only. Our access to the control tower, our access to this area right here would be completely against FAA regulations now and off limits, absolutely off limits. So I think that Heat probably will be the last film to ever shoot that kind of scope at probably
in
any airport in the world.